Hello, hello, and welcome to Adobe Live. You were shocked by the hello, weren't you, Johanna? We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we are creating and streaming today and pay respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Flynn, and I am here with Johanna. What's up, Johanna? How are you?
Hello! I was a bit shocked, and it's only because I usually have our face screens here, but they were here, so I was trying to look there and there at the same time. So all part of new setups of being live, and I can't love it enough. It's great.
Nice. Lovely. Well, great. Yeah, so we are using Discord today so we can share both of our screens as we jump through for, I think, what is our third Firefly Friday, which has been fun. It's like a little experimentational kind of stream where Johanna and I get to hang out with you guys as well, which is nice. Sort of without our kind of guests along, we get to have a chat, get to play with some experimentational stuff as AI continues to evolve and change constantly and people start doing really cool stuff. With Firefly. Obviously it's in Photoshop. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I can see some familiar names and faces in chat. I'm sure you've seen lots of streams of people doing stuff with the Photoshop Gen AI stuff. It's been pretty cool. We've done a couple of streams here as well. I'm probably going to do a little bit more of that. Johanna, I think you're going to dip your toe into the Gen AI waters today.
Yeah, I am actually. And before we start, I just want to say that if you have any questions about what we're doing, we'll do our best to answer them, either in the chat on Behance or on YouTube. This will be my first dip into the generative AI pool. So I'm a bit nervous, but mostly excited. And welcome to Gareth, Alessandra, and Manny. Lovely to see you here, and I can't wait to get started on today's theme. Do you want to introduce it, Flynn?
Yeah, sure. So it's sci-fi adventure is the theme that we have for today, which is pretty cool. So this is my screen over here. That's Johanna's up there, and I think we'll just get started. So we start doing some stuff, and then I don't know if you want to describe what you're planning. I'm just going to start doing some prompts and kick things off on my side.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you start doing your prompts, I'm going to explain kind of what I've done. So I have done a little bit of prep and research for this one, but basically. First, I'll just show you how, so far in my experience of how generative AI works, I'm going to kind of plan out my piece for today. So this is a pixel art image really cool. That I generated on Firefly. I'm really happy with it. I think the colors, and this is without prompting what color or composition style or anything like that. So this is, I can read you the prompt. It's Firefly pixel art sci-fi adventure video game civilization dystopian overgrown landscape apartment and widescreen. So that's basically I chugged in all the words I could possibly think of. And this is what I got. And also thank you, Alessandra. This is one of the stock video backgrounds that you get on Discord. And I like it very much.
That's appropriate.
I felt it was very appropriate. And so with a generative fill, what I've done is I've just used the selection tool here. I've made a rectangular selection just at the edge of this image, and I was actually asking Flynn just before the stream for tips, and the trick here is to use as little as you can of the image that you're wanting it to expand from, because that means that the AI gets to do the most thinking, and it won't be necessarily just copy paste of what you have in your selection. It will be there'll be more to generate. So in doing so, I created this expanded image, which I think is pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so that's just my baseline understanding of how generative image fill AI tech, thing works.
Yeah. And I think we should clarify as well, from my understanding so far as well, what we're doing right now is called outpainting. That seems to be the nomenclature that people are using. I've also heard someone yesterday call it uncrop. But I feel like these words are potentially being kind of made up on the fly, so who knows what will stick.
Yeah.
Just if you see that kind of terminology getting thrown around, that's what I hear on the street. yo. So
Word on the street is
that's right. That's right.
Flynn all going, "Hello, fellow kids."
Hello, fellow kids. I love that that's getting so old that like even just using that, it like shows your age. Like,
yeah, it's great. But what I'm actually going to do is I've taken loads and loads of well, created loads and loads of prompts, and you can't see it, but I have, let's see, absolutely too many images here in a folder that I've made. I have 169. There we go.
Wow.
And what I'm going to do is not reading the prompt. I'm just going to drag a few. Oh, there we go.
Oh, look
drag
at
a
this
few
dude.
in here.
So are these things that you've downloaded from Firefly separately, like doing the pixel
Exactly.
art prompt and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the pixel art prompt, and I've not only done the pixel art prompt in the sort of the generated style reference, but I've also added it into my description, or my text. And I did try having just with the style selected and not in the prompt, and that didn't give as much pixel art results. So if you are searching for sort of an art style and only have it selected in the dashboard, basically, try having it inside of the prompt itself as well, and you should get more accurate results.
Right.
Let's see.
Cool. So I'll jump in.
Tips from Joe.
Tips from Joe. That's awesome. Well, so yeah, I'm going sort of a bit more of a photorealistic kind of perspective, which is dangerous for me, but hey, we're trying new things here. And this is an image that I've got. It's kind of like a mech warrior kind of, not actually, I went down the spaceship route. So it's like a spaceship that's being kind of grounded. That's the idea. But obviously you get this kind of like really AI looking artifacting happening a lot, where it doesn't really know what's going on. You kind of get this sort of weird stuff. So I'm just trying to clean up the basic stuff, like just a couple of quick things. When you have more time, you want to do a much better job. But just a quick like healing brush can really kind of just help kind of get rid of some of the weird stuff that's popped in. Make it look a little bit less AI generated, I think. And it's not hard, you know, you just, no tablet, no skills, just look around and put a circle on things you don't like. It's pretty simple. And this is going to end up being quite big, so you're not really going to see a lot of these details anyway, but I just want the really obvious stuff away before we start kind of moving forward, and then we won't touch it again.
No, that's not what I wanted to do.
No more Gen Z, we are now Gen Phil. That's awesome.
That is great. And so what I'm doing now is, well, first of all, I am in an as non-destructive way as possible, and as quickly as possible, just removing the watermark logo, which, because we're just experimenting for funsies, we can do, but don't do this at home or otherwise for commercial use and etc.
We should make it clear as well. Like, I think,
me.
Yeah, a lot of people might not know that. Like, Gen Fill is still within Photoshop, even if you're doing it on your own artwork. It's actually still not, still not able to do it for commercial use either. So when it comes out of beta, that should be lifted. But at the moment, that's not the case. So be warned. Be careful. Be careful out
Indeed. And since I'm not adding any prompt in the GenFill prompt box, it will just hopefully fill out the image going with the style that my Firefly prompt has has given me. Excellent. Okay, good enough. Now this is really just creating a base from which I can maybe include some of the other images that I sampled, and then maybe even doing a paint over.
Nice. What about you guys, chat? Have you been playing around with generative fill or any of the other tools? Is there anything that you wish was here already that isn't?
That's a good question. I will say
stuff,
doing...
There's more stuff coming, so interested to hear what people want. What would you want? What would you want it to do? What would you want AI to do for you?
I mean...
Washing would be
personally, if it could just do everything that I don't want to do, that would be great.
Put my clothes away.
But I do feel then that maybe I would take a bit too much advantage of that and potentially just regress as a person. But that's probably saying more about me than AI, to be honest.
Fair.
Let's see. Now, what I've of course gone and done is change my mind about what I want to do, because I'm just remembering some of the images that I didn't randomly pick. And there was one that I really, really liked, so I'm just going to see if I can find that and work on that one instead.
Nice.
Because what I was really, really impressed by was just how, even with pixels, and you know if you see something, if something's really undetailed but you make it small, you make it into a thumbnail, you can actually see more detail than is actually there.
Right. Yeah. Like
and so just looking at some of these, exactly, yeah. So just looking at some of these generations, I can just really see like the image like in detail in my mind. And that is super duper exciting.
Yeah.
So I think I found one that I do actually like more. So we're gonna group all these together, put them in a folder, and then hide it. And we'll go with this image instead. Okay.
Nice.
And just gonna triple check that this was the one. Yeah, this is the one.
That's cool. I like that.
Okay.
Very cool. Gareth in chat, I tried the Photoshop beta today on a photo of mine of a model. I wanted to see how well it did putting her legs back and was surprised at how good a job it did. Yeah. Once you see it in that, once you try
legs back.
I assume you cropped it and then you asked it to do the rest of the legs.
Just out of context, that's a very concerning sentence.
The hardest thing is having to learn how to spell correctly. I said this on yesterday's stream as well. So often I'm typing things. I didn't realize how much I rely on spell check and everything, that I just constantly spell the same words incorrectly. So yeah, apologies for spelling mistakes that you see on stream.
Yeah, behind the scenes cut, for all you viewers, I was in the chat in Flynn and I's behind the scenes chat, just letting him know how things were spelt. You know, you got to do what you got to do to support the stream. And that was my job yesterday, was to be Flynn's autocorrect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed. So I'm struggling at the moment to try to get a cool spaceship to fly in the sky. It's not matching, so it's giving me... but I ended up putting in dystopian and it actually kind of worked. That's not too bad. Too bad. I don't hate that.
Now this is very interesting. This is what happens when you don't remove the logo watermark. It does some really interesting stuff, but I think actually I like what it's done sort of with the mountains, so I'm gonna keep it. Okay. Now, what will I do next?
What will you do next?
Very good question. Let's see. Ah, yes, and it was cropped above the knee. I do feel like I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took a Photoshop crop to the knee. That's a joke for you lovely nerds out there. I'm sure you appreciate my juvenile humor. Let's see here. What I might do is actually just keep pressing generative fill for a little bit to flesh out this scene in these mountains. And again, this is my now, well, technically still first time playing around with this, so do bear that in mind. Yep. Ooh, yeah, I like that. And obviously the colors are a little bit silly, and the shapes don't necessarily make sense, but I think it's kind of what I really like about it. So now I'm going back and being a little bit more selective this time, just finding things from other generations that I really liked. And let's see, can I do? Can I just do a copy paste? This is also a live showing of me remembering how to use Photoshop, because I've just been using Fresco for the longest time. So all these advanced techniques, like being able to copy paste stuff, very new to me. Let's see. And Manny, I didn't ask it to put a mountain. I basically just selected the area and had a little bit of what the mountain that is there. And then Photoshop and the AI did the rest of the work. Let's see. So now I'm basically going through my library of stuff and picking out elements and things here and there that I really like.
I like the colors that you got there. Have you changed the colors at all for what you got? Or?
Not changed the colors at all. I think on one or two of the prompts I had pastel colors.
Right.
But really, I think having in the prompt video game and sci-fi probably gave an indication of the kind of colors that I wanted.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Oh, and some I think I had bioluminescence or something like that added onto it.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. I want to play this game. Don't know what it is.
Yes.
It looks
that
cool.
is also the feeling that I got where, I just want to make, this is all that I want to do now. Sorry, future Firefly streams. It's just going to be me doing this. I'm going to just keep collecting different elements from all of the...
I spelled something so bad it said you have to use English.
Oh no! Well, what I did also notice this morning is that the web version of Firefly, at least I think because I have it installed anyway, has Grammarly.
Right.
So
yeah.
at
Because
least
if you're
for the
using, that's a really good point. So if you have Grammarly or something installed as a plugin, it will work as you're putting your prompts in. That's interesting.
Exactly. Which, for those of you who don't know what Grammarly is a spell checker for pretty much any platform. Let's see here. And you might wonder, what am I doing? And I am selecting out this. The mech was beautiful and it was great, but I want a different one here. So I'm doing a very, very poor job of not even deep etching it out. I am just creating slices of color to hide it away so that I can put another robot or something maybe in here instead. Because what I really loved about this image that Firefly generated is just the sense of scale and perspective, where you have vast big mountains in the background, then a middle ground of just desert, and then you have this character here in the foreground. And that's something that really impressed me when I went beyond just prompting for objects, right, which is what I was doing majority of the stream so far, is just prompting for objects or characters, right? And so to actually test out prompting for environments, I was really impressed with how good the perspective was in the generated images.
Yeah.
Okay, now that is covered out. Let's find a mech that I like more.
So you're looking for a mech on Firefly, and then you're going to drag it in or something? Is that the plan? Yeah,
so just based off of all the images that I generated this morning, which was, dystopian video game kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through these and seeing which ones might work to add in here. So you can already see that I've added in some spaceships and planets at the top there. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm looking at and seeing if there's a mech or a building or something like that I can add in.
Nice. If anyone in chat has an idea for a name of the movie that I'm making a poster for, throw it out there. I'm going to move on from Photoshop, jump into Illustrator, or I don't know, maybe vice versa. I'm going to get some graphics and stuff thrown together. We're going to try and make it look as much like a real poster as we can. So if you've got an idea for the name, let me know. It can be silly if you like. So that's what I'm thinking about with the composition here, as I'm thinking, actually, you know what, we'll make this into a poster, because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. But I thought this would make a pretty good poster. There's a lot of, not really negative space, but there's a lot of, sort of negative space from the eye perspective, in the clouds and everything like that. So maybe it would work really well to have some type, it might actually look like quite a nice poster. Something you might want to do is leave some room for type, have a consistent color behind it, it's really dark. So some really light type, glowy type or something might kind of pop out really well. And I just extended the foreground down a little bit because we'll probably have some text down there. So, when you see posters and they've got all the credits and the names and all the Dolby surround sound logo on it and stuff like that. So if that's something that we ended up doing, got a little bit of extra real estate for that. But by itself, you wouldn't really want just all that space there. Space is a sci-fi pun. You're welcome.
Fantastic, Flynn.
You're welcome.
Let's see.
This is looking pretty cool, I think. I keep doing that.
Yeah, I think I like this.
Do my favorite Ramesh
better.
trick, which is not photo filter. What am I doing? Silly me. Color lookup.
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited to try that myself later.
It's I remember, so Ramesh Harikrishnasammy has come on, does fantastic photo manipulation, and then showed color lookup so long ago, but it just still blows me away how much color lookup can just affect the whole image. I just realized how small my screen is, so maybe we'll bring this in a little bit, but hopefully you can see that just these filters really affect like what is happening throughout, and it's not just a color over the top, like it's affecting the density of the pixels, so you can sort of see how big a difference it can make.
That's very cool then.
I like it a lot.
I like that a lot. Let's see.
Oh, there's one called Futuristic Bleak, and I kind of like it, so we're going to have to use that.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's in the name. You gotta.
I'm wondering, all this effort that I put in to cut this spaceship out, I actually think it's going to get in the way of our type, so I'm going to take it off.
I'm dreading having the exact same thing happen with me now. Extremely poorly etching out this mech building thing. And it might happen, and, you know, it is what it is, but hopefully not. And I was thinking just before that this technique is actually really great just for practicing your composition, and also like color blocking, because you're just focusing on sort of core shapes.
Yeah.
And sort of getting the overall feel of, well, there's something there. And there's also something to using the lasso tool to paint. Like, that's a technique in and of itself that I'd love to be so good at. But like all things, it takes practice, and I'm not yet so good at it. But it is kind of what I've ended up sort of attempting here with trying to make this mech look like it actually was in this image the whole time.
Nice.
Let's see.
Didn't get any name suggestions, so I'm just going with the name of the font that I found, which is called Rift.
Ooh,
Let's do it.
very nice. I like that. Let's see. And if we have any name suggestions for the robot or the person standing here in the foreground, let me know. Let's see now, where is that layer? Why is that not drawing on top? There we go. Okay. Now I might hide the spaceships.
Ooh.
Excuse me. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay.
Let's do something like this.
And Flynn, in a second, I think I might require your assistance in where these planets should be.
Oh, right.
Just like I helped you out with the moon, I might need some planetary assistance. Ooh, that's a cool color.
Like we're both just heads down, trying to get stuff done before the time limit's up.
Yeah, just to get something would be nice. I mean, I realized that I've definitely most likely taken on more than I can chew with this piece for the time that we have.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
I know the feeling.
Because we're learning. It's fun.
That's right.
And I've never used this before, so of course it's going to take a lot longer than expected.
As always. So I'm just thinking what other things we can add to make it more poster-like. So I'm literally just going to Google posters. Probably need some text down the bottom, but I just don't know what kind of text. It's funny, as a designer, you just love to just leave it like as is, but I want it to look a little bit more real. Like if you look at fan art for posters, there's nothing on it. But if you want it to look, a bit more real, then you actually kind of need to have. It's like if you do packaging, you have to have all the packaging stuff on it because otherwise it just kind of looks like a screenshot from your computer.
It's very true. And Gareth, I love that name. So is Dirk Bogart the ranger, the space ranger, and Bit 8 the machine mech that they're using? Because that sounds very cool. So please confirm if yes. I'm just trying to add a little bit of distinction between the midground and the background. Let's see.
Love to have done the type in Illustrator, but I'm going to run out of time, so I'm just going to do some quick ones. Any suggestions on who is in my movie? Maybe 4 people. I'm going to put Chris Pratt in because he's in everything.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
You're going to get me to spell Benedict Cumberbatch live on stream?
Yep, absolutely. That is exactly what I'm going to get you to do, Flynn.
All right. It's me, Chris Pratt.
You got this.
There's no way. There's no way.
There's so way.
I don't know if this little contextual menu is new as well. When I was doing this type in Photoshop Beta, the font and the font size and color and some adjustments all kind of pop up, which I've not noticed before. Has anyone noticed that?
No, I don't think so. I think that is new as well. Maybe just to match in with the whole the pop-up for the generative fill and stuff. That is now a new thing altogether. Oh yeah. That is moving around like crazy.
Just copied Chris Pratt 4 times. Maybe it's just all Chris Pratt. Maybe Chris Pratt plays every character.
Yes. I kind of also absolutely love that.
Like, amazing.
Oh, you know what I thought you were saying this whole time? I thought you were saying Chris Pine, because my brain is just still in Dungeons and Dragons Movie Town.
I need to watch that.
You really do. It's very quite good.
very quite good.
Yeah, that's my official review. It is very quite good.
I've got Sigourney Weaver here. Awesome. Thank you, Manny.
Excellent choice.
And it's great getting it from chat because I can copy how you
Spell
spelt
it.
it. Sigourney Pratt.
Then Idris Elba has to be in there, right?
Okay. Yep, I like it.
Can't have a sci-fi movie without Idris Elba.
It's true.
I'm also just having the flash because I'm using a mouse at the moment to do all this. I am having a flashback of all the art I made before I discovered that tablets were a thing, and oh boy, am I very spoiled with being able to use a tablet now, because this is challenging, and I would not want to go back. Oh wow, Gareth, that's
a great film.
That's a name
series.
I would not even dare to try to spell.
It's all right. You did it right.
Ever.
I copied it, pasted it, searched it. You did it right. I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, but she's awesome in that series. She makes that series. If you haven't seen it, The Expanse. It's really good and underrated. One of those amazing shows that like was super, super good, but just didn't quite like get the mainstream appeal that it needed. So then it gets cancelled, and it's like, but millions and millions and millions of people like adore it. I don't know. It's kind of a shame when something's so good, but it still just isn't enough. It makes me sad.
Let's see. Which, unfortunately, will be the theme for my piece this stream, I reckon, because I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, these planets. Let's at least get them in a good position. Okay, I reckon that one there. Well, maybe that is good.
So I'm trying to get this to mock up ready. So I'm, oops, that's it's way too big. I did everything too big. That's all right. Make things smaller.
I've also been told that the Orville is very good. Is that sort of a similar vibe to
I've tried to
The
watch
Expanse,
a bit of that,
or is
but I
it very different?
I haven't watched it, so I can't comment. Has anyone seen that one?
So knowing me, after this stream, I will try to look for all of these very cool shows, and that will be my weekend, is working on this and watching all those fun sci-fi shows for sure.
Nice.
Okay. Now I'm going to do something somewhat controversial. To save time, I am just going to merge some layers. And I should not have done that because I have blend modes on. So I'm going to find all the normal layers, merge layers. Is that no? Delete that one. Okay, that helped a little bit. What I realized, unfortunately, is that you can't really distinguish that there is much space in between the mech and the person, because there's too much stuff in between. Is a great way of explaining it.
I'm just like head down trying to get this done.
Yep.
We've got about 5 minutes left. If there's any questions or anything like that. Like, why did I just put the same poster in the same Photoshop file in this mock-up?
Yeah, why'd you do that, Flynn?
I don't know.
That seems like not the thing that you should have done.
Like a bad idea. Sure was.
Much like maybe some of the decisions I'm making, but let's just not. It's not about me right now. It's about you, Flynn.
So I've just got a mock-up that I had on file. I thought I'd just throw a couple of different like attempts at color into our little poster for the mock-up rather than keeping it the same thing. Getting to the point where I'm doing a lot by eye just to speed things up. But it'll work.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Sometimes close enough is good enough. And that's whenever I'm
Please
streaming.
make degrees. You will definitely notice by me just using the hard round brush to create a little bit of sort of cohesion and distance, or just like a sense of space, that we are down to the wire.
Yeah, we are. Almost done.
See, I think I will try to make this.
Oh, and hey, we are back next week. We don't have the events up yet, but we have an awesome stream next week on 3D, which will be super cool.
We do.
It's Zelda-inspired 3D art, and it's very, very cool. I'm very excited about it. So if you are also a geek, join us, because we're going to geek out for an hour or two.
Heck yeah. And that is with Pablo.
That's with Pablo, yes. Thank you very much.
Very nice. And that will that be at 12?
It will be. Oh no, it'll be at 1.
Next week?
Be at 1 o'clock.
Be at
We
1
should change.
on
Maybe we should change our
Tuesday
times.
and Wednesday.
Yeah.
For anyone wanting to tune in.
Or Monday and Tuesday if you're in the US in the evening.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops, I moved the file. It doesn't matter. Oh, 2 minutes to go. I am hands down. I'm done. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty cool little poster. Throwing in a mock-up, a little bit of Firefly, a little bit of Photoshop. I didn't use Illustrator. I actually kind of ran out of time. But I probably would have liked to add more elements to it. I mean, that probably looks like a better poster than any more stuff you would put on it. But I'd probably want to make it look a
Oh,
little
wow,
bit
you
more
even put it in a
realistic.
mock-up. Goodness me.
Yeah, I mocked that up. We got 1 minute left, so we should say our goodbyes. Johanna, yours is looking awesome
Yes.
as well.
I'm liking where it's going. It's definitely going to take a bit more fiddling about, but it's looking good. I'm enjoying it.
It's looking really cool. I love the pixelated style, and yeah, like I said, I want to play that game. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, Manny, Gareth, and Alessandra, and anyone else that was watching and not commenting. Thank you very much for the comments as well. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend, because yeah, it's Friday, so we are done. We are out. I'm going to go play Diablo 4. Johanna, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Later, tonight,
Thank you,
not
and
now.
same
I
to
got
you.
too much work to do, but later.
Right now, weekend starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a great time, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.